You're on.
Good morning and welcome to the first Stats Don't Lie podcast. I'm here, Tomas Navarro here in beautiful Santa Clara, California, poolside, really quickly, poolside at the Element Hotel.
That place must have cost you. That looks pretty luxury.
Well, we're sitting visiting Gabby, and anyhow, hey, how great is it that you and I putting on the first podcast of BAFL? It is week 7, but here it is, week 1 for you and I for the Stats Don't Lie, the Stats Don't Lie podcast. And welcome, Rob Chamberlain.
Thank you, T. It's great to be here. It's kind of an honor to be obviously on the first BFL Stats Don't Lie podcast. So let's get started.
Before we get started, do we have any sponsors this week? I'm looking. Did we get any sponsorship?
I think we did get a sponsorship from E&E Financial. Yes, so they're one of. It's a fantastic firm based in, I think, the Seattle area.
He didn't call me back. He didn't call me back, but you got.
Oh, no, let's scratch that then. Yeah, no sponsors this week, T.
Well, we do need sponsors, so maybe next week one of our viewers that tunes in could have a full sponsorship 30-second segment.
Wow.
Yeah. But hey, let's. Well, today's show it's going to be actually action-packed. We got a lot to cover here. We want to cover last week's scores.
Yeah.
We want to cover this week's matchups, some wire moves that went on. We have some questions from the mailbag, because people have been writing in questions. And then we have this special segment of the Stats Don't Lie power rankings.
Wow.
How
long is the show going to be, T? That sounds like a lot of content.
10 minutes. So let's get moving. Let's start with last week's scores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen, T, so our viewers can see. And I'm going to go into. You want to start with the standings since I'm on that screen?
Sure. Let's start with standings. How does standings look? Let's start with the Cardwell Gardner division. How are we looking there?
Well, this is, as you know, it's kind of the power division of the BFL. The teams in here nobody wants to face. So we've got the current champion, Rock Creek, at 4-2. Those Gila Monsters, very impressive squad, 3-2-1, followed closely by the Schaefermen. And then the Crime, fantastic organization, obviously just fallen upon hard times here at 1-4-1.
1-4-1. Okay. Well, how about let's go to it. It is what it is division. Sounds kind of racist.
Yeah, a little bit, kind of offensive, but leading the way is Silverdale. Just shocking, 6-0, 3-0 in the division, so very commanding lead there. Toby's doing some great work. We're going to talk about the waiver wire segment, by the way. The rest of this division is just mediocre. Obviously, it's you got the Stars, Canoga Park, and the Tiki Gods. Terrible. This is like the NFC East of the BFL, really. What we have.
You know what? Stats don't lie. I imagine if we looked up the stats on this, if either the Capistrano Crime or the Gila Monsters were in that league, I imagine we would both be 6-0. And I'm not going to look that up, but this is silly. This group is silly. Next, okay, what about the Virus Killers division?
Yeah, Virus Killers, very competitive division here. Both the Great Whites and the Virgins at 4-2. The Fog hanging tough at 3-3. Wow. That's the Ballbusters apparently are 0-6.
0-6?
Is
no
196 points scored on the year?
Well, yeah, stats don't lie, brother.
Wow.
All right. Well, hey, good. We've got the.
Is that a crow in the background?
No, I'm here poolside at the Element Hotel. Actually, Element Hotel is our sponsor. I'm here poolside at the Element Hotel here in Santa Clara, California. Wonderful spot. Rooms are $125 a night. You got your own kitchenette, and my wife is sleeping still up in the room. Okay, we've talked about current standing. Let's go to last week's score. So go to scores.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Week 6.
No, there's a better screen than that, Coach. Go to.
I think we can roll here. I know there's another screen, but
no. Too complicated here.
Okay.
Go to
scoring preview. Or Game Tracker. Yeah, there you go.
Game Tracker. There you go. Game Tracker is the one you want. Yep.
T, this is the initial broadcast. We're gonna work out some kinks here.
Week 6. All
Next
right.
time.
So I'll ask. Let's start right there at the top with the no. Let's start back. Let's go back to front. Let's go with the Schaeferman versus the Tikis last week. What do you got for me?
I don't know. Phil's having a hard time this year. I mean, I think he's got a nice team with Zeke and Fuller and Edwards-Helaire, but Edwards-Helaire hasn't seen the end zone this year, from what I know.
Yeah,
Bob's actually starting Mozart, and he still wins with 53 points. I mean,
yeah, he must have had a big defensive score or something, right? Didn't he?
He's just got a really good kicker. He's got Kenyon Drake finally got in the end zone. Claypool's been good. No, he had 0 from the Chiefs, man.
Yeah,
bad coaching right there. I can't even believe we're looking at this. I had no idea.
Hey, you remember that whole thing about let's make this a 10-minute call? Let's just move through these pretty quickly now. Since we spent so much time on that Tiki Schaeferman, yeah, the Tikis won 53-33. They're lucky to win a couple games this year. What do we got next? Hoppers and the Sharks. Who won that one?
Squeaking one out against the Sharks, 34-30. Yeah, a little bit of a surprise there, but I think he kind of was on pre-wedding high, and he really came to play. The Analyzers 26-20. Virgins, wow, Virgins put up 65 on the Crime. That is.
What was the spread on that game? Do you recall?
Ironically, I think the Virgins were favored by 46, so you actually covered the spread, which was amazing. I actually made a lot of money on the Crime.
Love that. Okay, very good. Crime always covers. Covers.
Yeah.
And then how about the Stud Muffin? The Stud Muffins.
Yeah, Studs had a bye last week.
They did?
Yeah.
Who'd they end up playing?
Well, they played the Ballbusters, but as you might recall, the Ballbusters are winless on the year. So.
Well, but they couldn't have only scored 14. They must have put up their bench score was pretty high, wasn't it?
The Ballbusters. I mean, yeah, maybe you just think you just put in the wrong guys. Can you see my screen? No,
I can see it.
All gross. It's all of his entire roster outside of the kicker. That's wow.
Didn't score.
And Toby's got a lot of Vikings, I think. And look at Toby's bench.
Could Toby's bench have beat Chad or beat Jason?
One guy on Toby's bench could beat Jason.
All right, and then of course last week's game of the week.
That was the Gila Monsters and the Stars. Big win for the Gilas, 36-24. I'd get over 500 on the year, so very exciting.
Okay. Well, hey, that's good. Shall we jump into wire moves of the week before we go into this week's matchups?
There's 2 wire moves to me, T, that really stood out this week.
Yep.
Clearly, the move of the week was the Crime picking up Antonio Brown.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say that was.
Don't you think? So everybody must have gone for him. I'm so fast with those.
Yeah.
Coach Navarro's got those quick fingers. I was quick to the punch. Everybody must have tried to pick up Antonio Brown. Did you try to get him?
I didn't. No. I mean, my roster's pretty full of talent here, so I didn't have room for him. But I think it was a good, for a team in your position, absolutely, I think it was a great move.
Thanks, Coach. Makes me feel good. Let's move on to the. Wait, didn't Bob pick somebody up this week? Didn't he pick up Gio?
Bobby got Gio Bernard last night and is starting him today. And I tell you, I think Gio gets in the box today. He's definitely good for 6 points. So well played by Bob Easter.
Why don't we preview that? Let's start previewing games and start with Bob Easter's game then. How about that?
Well, we're going in order here.
I'm sorry.
My screen. We're going to go ahead and start with the Great White, Schaeferman. Great White, as you can see, favored by 4.
Coach, why don't we do a fantasy tracker page? I like that one a little better. unless you got.
We got all this important stats here. Santa Cruz winning the series 16-12-1. And listen, I don't even know how it's possible, but it's saying the last meeting, the Schaeferman won 39-0. So I think Phil's up to some chicaneries here because I don't believe that's accurate. Looking at this game, I mean, Ty is really being carried by Russ Wilson and Tyler Lockett. And I think against Arizona, that continues. We're going to have to say Santa Cruz wins this. It's going to be a good game.
So you're taking Santa Cruz?
Taking Santa Cruz.
I am going to go ahead. In fact, we should just keep stats here. You've taken Santa Cruz, and I'm going to take the Schaeferman.
All right.
Yeah. Just for a win. Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Next matchup.
This next matchup is the Tiki Gods versus the Spectrum Analyzers. Schmitty kind of reeling here a little bit, having some challenges in his season after a hot start. I'll tell you what I saw. I think Schmitty's got Jacobs going against Tampa Bay. Do not like that matchup. Some of his receivers is just very disturbing who he's rolling out there. Hardman, MVS. I mean, Bob wins this one running away. I don't think it's close. I think Bob covers the spread of 7.
I am with you. I'm going to take Schmitty in the. Oops, nope. I'm going to take Bob. You're right. I'm going to take Bob as well. Bob's actually going to get a win again this weekend against Schmitty. Right on. Next game.
Bob will be good through the regular season, but then the playoffs will come and it's not going to work out for him. You know how it goes.
Don't tell him that.
No.
Ian Allen. I've been paying Ian Allen for years to do this to Bob. Cost me a lot of money.
Our next game is Canoga Park versus the Fog. This looks to be a very tight one, T. I tell you what, I'm just taking a look. I mean, I like that Ronald Jones there for the Grasshoppers. I like Ridley today against Detroit. He's definitely scoring 1, maybe 2. Galladay on the other side of the field. I gotta take the Hoppers here in these matchups, dude. I mean,
wedding and all. The guy's at the wedding. He puts together a team like this. I'm looking though, and Tom Brady this week is going to be handing the ball off a lot. I don't think he's going to be throwing touchdown passes. I don't think there's going to be much to put that Las Vegas crew down. I have a feeling it's going to be a low-scoring game, and the over/under on it actually is 51.5. If you are on the money line or betting today, take the under on the Tampa Bay Las Vegas game. All right.
That's
next
a hot tip.
Yep.
Next game, we have the undefeated Stud Muffins versus Larry and his Vegas Virgins.
Hey, I got a question for you. How does Jason and Toby in the same room drafting? Sue's serving cocktails at the draft for Jason and Toby, and Toby's 6-0 and Jason's 0-6. Do you think something was put into Jason's drink at Toby's house? I'm not saying that, Sue's lovely. Sue is lovely, and Jason walks away with a team like this. Toby walks away with a team like that. Something's off there.
Yeah, and the saddest thing, T, is like you look at Jason's team now. I mean, he's turned the thing over. 50% roster turnover. I mean, he's just on the wire, making moves. It's sad. He's picking up players that I heard weeks ago and starting them. Really disturbing. There's definitely something happening here. Something to foul, clearly.
He could have been blacked during the draft. He could have blacked out, I think. Yeah. There's just no way that team was drafted. Anyhow, go on now.
Yeah, well, let's get back to the Studs versus the Virgins here. High-scoring affair. Kyler Murray against Seattle. Wow, I like that. I like Kamara there versus Carolina. Just a lot of good matchups.
Ooh,
and again, you look at some of the people that Larry started. Phil traded him Odell Beckham, and I don't think Odell's scored since then. I don't think Larry's won since then. The guy's like a cancer. N'Keal Harry, you're starting N'Keal Harry. I don't know, man. think it's the stud muffin, and it's probably not too close. He covers
No.
the game, clearly.
And let me just tell you something about that Cleveland-Cincinnati game. It's going to be a low-scoring game as well. Take the under, and
Oh, wow, really?
yeah, take the under on that one. There's going to be a lot of handouts because I think Baker is still injured. I think his rib is still injured. He's not going to be throwing the ball a lot. In fact, Odell just might throw the ball a little bit more than Baker. All right.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting. Well, when we get to the Gila Monster game, I know there's a Cleveland running back on their squad we need to probably talk about. That's exciting.
Yep.
Okay, now here's potentially the game of the week. Not the highest scoring, but I think the grittiest two coaches. The Stars versus the Crime. Wow, look at the coaching rating of the Crime. That's impressive. 100. Doesn't get any better than that.
Number one.
Let's take a look here. Wow. Is Bill still starting the ghost of Adrian Peterson at running back?
Are there any ghosts? Are there any ghosts on the Crime? I mean, look at this. There's a lot of MVPs.
Wow. Jimmy Graham. Is Jimmy Graham still in the league, apparently? Cam Newton was, fantastic in 2008, I think. Or what year was that when he really broke out? Juju?
Look at that bench.
Fournette, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Interesting.
Okay. Let's move off of that game. Who do you think is going to win it, though?
I had a quote about Schmitty's team once, and I think it applies to you, Tomas. This is not the who's who of the BAFL. It's the who was who.
Should I write that down?
Bell, Brown. Come on, man.
All right, let's get to the game of the week.
Hold on. Do we have our picks in on this game?
Well, of course, I'm going to take the Crime.
I'm going to go ahead. I think with the big game from Jared Cook and Mahomes, I think the Stars squeak this one out. We need to differentiate our picks a little bit, T. So There it is.
Got it. All right.
Okay, this is an exciting matchup. Obviously, a lot of people very, very interested in the Gila Monsters Ballbusters matchup. It's a rivalry that goes back to 1989, I believe, in this league. And the Gila Monsters have had their way with the Ballbusters recently, winning the last three matchups, leading the series 16-11-1. So it's a rivalry, I guess, probably in the Ballbusters' minds, but not so much in reality. And I tell you what, it's really interesting. I mean, Jason, spent a lot of money on Lamar Jackson. He's been atrocious this year. He picks up Carson Wentz off the waiver wire, starts him this week out of necessity, and the guy put up, I think, 14 points. So again, Jason's just bottom of the barrel, kind of sad what's happened here. But he's off to a good start this week. I just don't think the lead's going to hold up. I have the Gila Monsters winning easily.
Easily?
Yeah.
You know what? Every chicken finds its bone. Right? I think I'm going to take the upset. This could be an upset this week. Yep. Jason gets his first win.
All right.
Jason gets his first win this week. He goes to 1-6. Keep an eye on this game because it's going to be tight up until the very end. My only concern with the Gilas, actually, I mean, my only concern with the Gilas is it's going to be cold in Seattle, and they're going to clamp down on Metcalf. They're going to clamp down on Metcalf.
Are you serious right now? Nobody's clamped down on Metcalf. That's the worst call of the week.
Yep. Yeah. Anyhow, check it out. Metcalf is going to have 5 for like 45 yards. That's it.
Metcalf scores at least once. Patrick Peterson is like not the Patrick Peterson of our youth, my friend. He's washed up. He's an average corner right now. He's not a lockdown corner. You couldn't be any more wrong. What a great way to wrap up our initial podcast with such a divergence in opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Great to see you this morning.
So you've captured our picks, and I really hope the coaches tuning in enjoyed the show today.
I hope so. The one pick I didn't get, we've got, let's go through this. I've got the Busters. You've got the Gilas. You've got the Sharks. I've got the Schaeferman. Um, did you take the Tikis with me? We both took the Tikis to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
And did you have the Hoppers or the Fog?
I had the Hoppers.
Hoppers. I had the Hoppers. Okay. And then Stud Muffins Virgins. I've got Stud Muffins are going to win.
Like I got the studs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I love those Hopper wide receivers this week. It's going to be a bloodbath out there.
Hey, Job. Great to see you. Sunday morning. Games starting in about an hour, and I hope everyone enjoys our first Stats Don't Lie podcast. We're going to come back at you live next week. I don't know if you can hear the plane going overhead. Live here from the poolside at the Element Hotel. Wonderful hotel, great staff, great clean rooms. We do have a sponsor, I guess, and I look forward to this show next week. It'll probably be a little more organized, but hey, we did a good job. Time's up, brother. That's it.
Don't lie. All right, my friend. Enjoy the games today.
That's all. Adios, man. Take care.